2 months of impeachment hearings, and we have a lot of star witnesses. Let's see what they got.
No one on this planet told you that President Trump was tying aid to investigations. Yes or no?
Yes.
So, you really have no testimony today that ties President Trump to a scheme to withhold aid from Ukraine in exchange for these investigations.
Other than my own presumption.
Oh my God, this can't get any worse.
Hearsay can be much better evidence than direct.
Holy fuck. So before we start, let's see how legitimate this process is. The campaign to impeach Trump has begun. Wait, this is the day after he was inaugurated. We think he will be in violation of the Constitution on day one, said the American Civil Liberties Union. Oh, the irony of the name pains me. A couple months later, this House rep said, "I'll fight every day till he's impeached." In May 2017, there was already a call for impeachment when he fired FBI Director Comey, who signed off on spies secretly recording conversations with Trump campaign officials and legally leaked FBI files to the New York Times.
If you were still there and all of this came out and it turned out it happened on your watch, would you resign?
No, I don't think so. There were mistakes I consider more consequential than this during my tenure.
No, we did way worse shit than this guy. Oh my God. Then, when the sad excuse for a woman was elected to the House, she said this.
Because we're going to go in there, we're going to impeach the motherfucker.
Then a few months later, another Dem rep said this.
I'm concerned that if we don't impeach this president, he will get reelected.
And a bonus one from after impeachment passed. This Dem rep said that if the Senate cleared Trump, they'll continue to impeach him until they get their way. Sounds legit. So, what about the media? New York Times, impeach. Washington Post, impeach. U.S. Today, impeach. L.A., impeach. Boston, impeach. Philadelphia, impeach. San Francisco, impeach. Chicago, impeach. Florida, impeach. Well, sounds like media all around the country has collected all the evidence for this impeachment. Let's see that evidence. Oh, Adam Schiff is leader of the House inquiry. Wait, wasn't he the one who cited Trump on the Ukrainian phone call like this?
I hear what you want. I have a favor I want from you, though. And I'm going to say this only 7 times, so you better listen good. I want you to make up dirt on my political opponent and understand lots of it.
Now, I showed you the phone call in the last video, and what I didn't include looks nothing like that as well. So if the call was as bad as people are saying it is, then why did he have to completely make this up? He's not even an impartial leader for this kind of inquiry. I'm sure the House leader will set this straight.
I did not make it up.
You know, I wish America was the country Hong Kong thinks it is. Just start the hearings. Oh wait, they're doing secret hearings and kicking out Republicans for the first week. Okay, the circus has begun. First off the bat, Democrats witness Bill Taylor from the U.S. Embassy in Ukraine.
Ambassador Taylor recalls that Mr. Morrison told Ambassador Taylor that I told Mr. Morrison that I conveyed this message to Mr. Yarmak on September 1st, 2019 in connection with Vice President Pence's visit to Warsaw and a meeting with President Zelensky. Now, this is his clarification. Oh. Even though you had 3 opportunities with President Zelensky for him to tell you, you know what? We're going to do these investigations to get the aid. Didn't tell you 3 different times. Never makes an announcement, never tweets about it, never does a CNN interview. Ambassador, you weren't on the call, were you? The president, you didn't listen on President Trump's call and President Zelensky's call?
I did not.
You never met the president?
That's correct.
Whoa, Paul, fourth-hand hearsay. That's a risky move. He also thinks Trump wanting investigation into the 2016 election is an excuse to get dirt on Biden. But his source is the New York Times. He's not a witness at all. Strikeout. Next up to bat, we've got... sorry, folks. We got another crazy fan on the field. She's saying Trump has been Putin's puppet since the 80s. Oh, my. Let's get her off the field. Next up to bat, we have former Ukraine ambassador, Yovanovitch. She said under oath that while working for the Obama administration, there was never any suspicion about Biden's son and the gas company.
President Obama's own State Department was so concerned about potential conflicts of interest from Hunter Biden's role at Burisma that they raised it themselves while prepping this wonderful ambassador nominee before her confirmation.
Whoa, curveball! Even Obama knew about that. Ooh, this is not looking good, ladies and gentlemen. Yovanovitch is out. Last up, Lieutenant Colonel Vindman.
I've never had any contact with the President of the United States.
Whoa, not a good start for a supposed witness.
And had you heard like a first-hand account from anyone on the inside, or had you just been following news accounts?
I certainly was following news accounts.
Strike one!
Would it ever be U.S. policy, in your experience, to ask a foreign leader to open a political investigation?
There are proper procedures in which to do that. Certainly the President is well within his right to do that.
Strike two! Oh, boys, this is his last chance, though. he does say that he thinks the phone call is inappropriate and that he is the one responsible for creating U.S. foreign policy in Ukraine.
Now, you've said that you're responsible for coordinating U.S.-Ukrainian policy.
Correct. And I
Does
bring together
anybody
those
need
folks.
your approval in your role on Ukraine policy to formulate Ukraine policy? Do they seek your approval?
According to the NSPM4, the policy signed by the president,
So he
policy
gets to
should
do
be
it.
coordinated by the
He gets to do it.
NSC. Correct.
Strike three! Looks like policy disagreements are in fact not impeachable offenses. You're out!
Did you ever hear from any Ukrainians, either in the United States or Ukraine, about any pressure that they felt to do these investigations that President Trump demanded?
Not that I can recall.
Wow, he really is the worst witness of all time. I hope the Democrats are worried about these terrible performances.
He says it's a witch hunt. Is it a witch hunt?
If it's a witch hunt, we are certainly finding a lot of witches.
Oh, no, they're completely fucking delusional. Also, to Sargon, that's the worst answer you could give. Every witch hunt finds witches. That's the whole point, because witches don't exist. That's why it's a witch hunt. Surely, the House Inquiry Leader will let the man who reported the phone call testify now. Oh, what? The Intelligence Committee changed the whistleblower law to say that he no longer has to have direct, first-hand knowledge of wrongdoing. And this was right before that report was made public. The whistleblower's lawyer also said in 2017 that the coup has started and we will get rid of him. Weird. It turns out he's a CIA spook, not a whistleblower at all. So, will we hear his testimony? Oh, no then. So, we're going to just ignore Trump's Sixth Amendment rights to face his accuser. Cool. Oh, the House leader thinks the Sixth Amendment is a Republican talking point. Cool. Well, now that we heard the Democrats' witnesses, it's time for the Republicans' witnesses. I mean, that is the law of the impeachment process after all. Okay. They're just going to ignore that and vote on impeachment. Cool. So, they're impeaching him for, number one, abuse of power, for trying to pressure a foreign government to interfere in the 2020 election, because that wasn't completely disproven already. And number two, for obstruction of Congress, because Trump didn't listen to the House's subpoenas. The House isn't even a judicial body, and the president doesn't even have to do a damn thing Congress says, let alone, as even a Democrat put it, in this kind of process you would only see in a third world nation. Don't these people know what the separation of powers are? I swear to God, if voters even knew a little civics, almost everyone in Congress would be drawn and quartered for power abuses. It's like, no wonder we don't learn this shit in school. So, how's the vote look? Let's compare to past impeachments. Andrew Jackson, 126 in favor, 47 against. Looks bipartisan. Richard Nixon, 410 versus 4, very bipartisan. Clinton, 258 versus 176, with 30 Democrats voting in favor, so just slightly partisan. Trump, 100% partisan. All Republicans voted against. Almost all Democrats voted in favor. Funny thing, though, CNN doesn't like this public response.
You see a decline from our last poll in Democratic support from 90% down to 77%. You see independents holding roughly steady there in a slight decline.
I don't believe that poll for 1 second. I believe it. Well, like, it makes no sense that that number would change like that. Well, David, that poll is wrong. Just because I said so.
That's some hard-hitting analysis from the news station that Korean News copies. Some more non-biased media coverage. Washington Post is going out for drinks to celebrate the impeachment. As for the last Democrat candidate debate, they have the lowest viewers of all time, while the Republicans have gained 600,000 new donors since the impeachment began.
I'm concerned that if we don't impeach this president, he will get reelected.
Yeah, no shit. Your party's so weak right now that this impeachment was like your Hail Mary, and it fucking flopped. But at least now, the whole concept of impeachment is cheapened and ripe for future abuse. Congratulations. Also, I love how the House leader is trying to pretend that she controls the Senate, saying she won't send the impeachment to the Senate until she okays their rules to determine whether or not there'll be a fair trial. You fucking hypocrite. So, let's recap. A CIA snitch, holdover from Obama's administration, spied on the Trump White House, was likely the one responsible for the estimated 1 leak per day in the White House, and is now hiding after triggering impeachment. The FBI lied to the FISA court 17 times in order to use a dossier from an ex-British spy, which was based on word of mouth and statements made in jest, to try for 3 years to find Trump guilty of Russian collusion. The Obama administration helped instigate a coup in Ukraine to install their own puppet, after which Biden got his son a job with a ton of money for reasons unknown, and that Ukrainian administration helped the U.S. Democrats interfere in the 2016 U.S. election. Trump wants to investigate both of those things, as he's legally obliged to do, not to mention the actual U.S.-Ukraine Treaty for Mutual Assistance in Criminal Investigations from 1998. Yet, since Trump will find out all about this shit, they'll accuse him of exactly what they did. The House of Representatives foregoes impeachment law entirely, denied the president the right to receive transcripts of testimony, the right to cross-examine witnesses, the right to call witnesses, and the right to access evidence. His constitutional rights are denied. Finally, the media is completely complicit in fear-mongering not just the U.S. public, but the entire world by protecting the intelligence agencies and the Democratic Party, and smearing anyone who gets in their way. They're deliberately misinforming people in order to maintain order and discourage any other non-politician from ever trying to do what Trump did to them. Just like the EU is trying to make Brexit as difficult as possible to deter other countries from leaving. And you still wonder why people voted for this bull to go in the China shop. The Democrats are desperate. They're running 100% on being not Trump. They have no policies. The only way Trump loses in 2020 is by election fraud or assassination. But this shadow government tried to subvert the 2016 election while already interfering in the 2020 election. And they've tricked a lot of Americans into thinking the other side is evil. Historically, this kind of situation doesn't end peacefully. You want to forego the peaceful transfer of power that came with 200 years of democratic elections? Fine. But let's stop pretending the USA is a free nation anymore.